from what I saw yesterday, if Makhmudov was half of AJ,
Okay.
he would have given Tyson big problems. He would have given him a whole lot of a problem. And AJ will surely, so that fight will be a proper crack of a fight. It's going to come with suspense, knockdowns, a lot of dramas.
Yeah.
And that fight sells out, the Wembley Arena in 1 hour.
Yeah. But two of us still do actually know that Tyson Fury jokes because he's this particular fighter that have dream version of him against Ngannou. We know how, use the word horrible, but we know how poor he performed against Ngannou, and AJ just went straight, get Ngannou on the canvas. So, but later we still see that this is not the best of the AJ, against the Boa. So far so good. Tyson is this particular dicey. He can actually see if Anthony Joshua and change to another monster. That is what I'm actually thinking. He can change to another monster. He can change to another pattern because he might have seen so much highlights of Makhmudov. I know that he's someone you shouldn't rush to. You take him slowly, and you have to take him. Make sure he's exhausted. And I think that was what happened yesterday. So he wasn't really rushing him. He was taking his time to make sure he destabilized Makhmudov, and it actually worked perfectly. At the first, second round, third round, he was actually coming for Tyson. But at the time, he couldn't even make clear punches. He can't even cover up. He can't even go on a good defense. Every uppercut that was coming from Tyson was landing so beautifully. He was even giving about 7 straight punches. It was on one hand, it was getting him straight without no defense. So that means he was exhausted. And Tyson just wanted that so he just expressed himself. So he turned to be a monster tomorrow against Anthony Joshua. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, the thing is, obviously, he's going to up his game, because, he's that kind of boxer, when he's boxing someone better or at his level, he usually ups his game. He is going to up his game, and that's the truth. But for me, if I'm AJ's coach or if I'm in AJ's team fighting Fury, he needs to work on his fitness. Fury does not have the power. He can, knock AJ out, but the chances are, say 45% or 50%.
Okay.
But AJ has 80% power or 90% power of, knocking Fury out from the straight right hand, the hooks, the uppercuts. If he lands on him, he's going to feel it. But the two things that, AJ needs to work on is his fitness and, taking a punch, which, if, you have a punch resistance, it's gone. But he just needs to work on his fitness. And, for me, if he's very fit on that day, Tyson will be in trouble from what I saw last night. Though I know he's going to up his game, if it's fighting anything. But, for me, he needs to walk straight into that fight. There's no need to have a tune-up fight, but, he needs to tell himself, with what happened in Nigeria, am I ready for this fight? If not, then you shouldn't go into it. But if the answer is yes, then you can walk straight into it. There's no need for a tune-up fight with Wilder because he may go in there and lose, and we'll never see this fight anymore. But he can't have a fight with Tyson, have a rematch, and then fight wider, and then that will be the end of his career. That's
All right.
just like, because I believe the both of them have 3 fights in them.
Mm-hmm.
So, like if he fights Fury twice and then like, Wilder once or twice, that would be the end of him anyways. And these 3 fights, I say AJ can make £500 million.
£500 million.
Yes. So that's £500 million.
Okay.
Crazy money. Crazy, crazy money. Cheesy, like, we need to get to a stage where, you as a sports, journalist, should be going to those events to cover it.
Sure, definitely. Sure, definitely. Sure.
You know?
So definitely. All right. Anyway, we'll still go again, to talk about the Chisora. Chisora is back. Just 1 week retirement. I don't know if you know about that.
Yes, he says he wants a rematch with Wilder, but who's going to put money on that? The last fight, he's finished. I don't think he has anything in him again. The problem is, boxers get addicted, and I can tell you, boxing is a very addictive sport. Very, very. I'm telling you, you got to get into it, to understand. It's a very addictive sport, and once you get into it, it's quite addictive. So they get addicted and they can't live without it. But it's time for him to retire. He doesn't have anything more to offer. It's over for him.
All right. Anyway, that will be another discussion for another day. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you. I'm blessed and honored having you tonight. Thank you very much, bro.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. And also, like I said to you, you should be at those the big fights in England. So just work towards that. Yeah.